I had a secret language for desire. 9 phrases I used when I wanted you, but couldn't say it directly. You thought I was being confusing. I thought I was being careful. Every word was calculated to express what I felt, while protecting what I feared. Being seen as too easy, too desperate, too much woman for a world that taught me to want quietly. I'm going to decode the hidden language I used when I craved you, but couldn't risk saying it out loud. 9 ways I signaled my desire while guarding my dignity. By the end of this, you'll understand why women speak in code when our bodies are screaming, yes. Signal number 1. You're trouble. When I said this, I wasn't warning you away from me. I was warning myself away from you. Because the moment you walked into my life, I felt something dangerous stirring. The kind of attraction that makes good girls do things they never planned to do. Tuesday evening at the coffee shop, you make a joke about my overthinking, and I respond with, "You're such trouble," while my heart pounds for 37 minutes afterward. What I really meant? You make me want to abandon every careful boundary I've built around my heart and my body. The word trouble was my way of acknowledging that you had the power to unravel me completely. And that terrified and excited me in equal measure. When I called you trouble, I was really calling myself weak. Weak for wanting someone who could see right through my carefully constructed walls. My stomach churned for hours every time I used this phrase, knowing I was revealing more than I intended, while pretending to reveal nothing at all. Signal number 2. You smell amazing. This wasn't about your cologne. This was about my primitive need to be close enough to breathe you in. When I complimented your scent, I was confessing that I'd been paying attention to you on the most intimate level possible. The level where conscious thought stops and instinct takes over. Thursday morning after our accidental elevator encounter, I tell you that you smell great while my entire nervous system is still recovering from 47 seconds of forced proximity. What I really meant, I want to bury my face in your neck and forget that the world exists beyond this moment. Scent is the most honest sense. You can't fake a chemical reaction. When I mentioned how you smelled, I was admitting that my body had already decided it wanted yours, even if my mind was still pretending to be undecided. I spent 18 minutes in the bathroom afterward, splashing cold water on my wrists and counting my breaths until I felt like myself again. This compliment was my confession disguised as casual observation. Signal number 3. I don't usually do this, but this phrase was my armor against judgment. Mine and yours. I needed you to know that what I was about to do, whatever step I was about to take toward you, wasn't typical behavior for me. Saturday night, after 3 glasses of wine and 2 hours of conversation that felt like foreplay, I text you at 11:47 p.m. saying I don't usually text guys this late, but I can't stop thinking about our conversation. What I really meant? I want you so badly that I'm willing to risk looking desperate. But I need you to know this isn't who I normally am. Every woman carries the weight of being called easy if she expresses desire too directly. This phrase was my insurance policy against that judgment while still allowing myself to move toward what I wanted. I deleted and rewrote that text 17 times. Each version a negotiation between my desire and my fear of being misunderstood. The truth is, I did usually do this. I just usually did it with people who mattered less. With you, the stakes felt too high to act naturally. If you're watching this because someone used careful language to signal interest, subscribe now. The patterns I'm about to reveal show how we protect our hearts while exposing our desires. But my most dangerous phrase was still coming. Signal number 4. It's getting late, but this is so much fun. This wasn't about time. This was about testing whether you wanted me enough to fight for more time together. When I said this, I was creating a crossroads moment, giving you the opportunity to either let me leave safely or convince me to stay dangerously. Sunday evening after dinner turned into a 4-hour conversation I glance at my phone showing 10:23 p.m. and say these exact words while my heart pounds with the possibility that you might ask me to stay. What I really meant, I'm giving you permission to ask for more of me, but I need you to be the one who asks. This phrase was my way of surrendering control while maintaining the illusion that I wasn't surrendering anything. I wanted you to want me enough to extend the evening, to suggest we weren't finished with each other yet. But I needed you to be the one to say it, so I could pretend I was just going along with your desire instead of orchestrating it. My hands trembled for 22 minutes after saying this, knowing I'd just handed you the power to either validate or devastate me. Signal number 5. Do you live close by? This question was never about logistics. This was about possibility. When I asked about proximity, I was really asking about opportunity, creating a mental map of how quickly we could be alone together if we both decided that's what we wanted. Friday night after drinks with friends, walking toward the subway, I asked this question while trying to sound casual, already knowing from your Instagram that you live 6 blocks from my apartment. What I really meant? I'm trying to figure out if there's a universe where this night doesn't end with us going our separate ways. This question was my way of introducing the concept of privacy without having to explicitly suggest we might need it. I was testing the waters, seeing if you'd take the hint and maybe suggest we continue our conversation somewhere more intimate. The physical distance between our homes suddenly felt like the only obstacle between wanting you and having you. I spent the entire subway ride home analyzing your response, replaying the micro expressions on your face when I asked. Signal number 6. Do you think I'm really that innocent? This wasn't a question. This was a revelation disguised as curiosity. When I asked this, I was giving you permission to see me as someone with desires, needs, fantasies, not just the composed woman I presented to the world. Wednesday afternoon, during our coffee date that had stretched into evening, you mentioned something about me being so sweet and innocent. And I respond with this question, while maintaining eye contact for exactly 4 seconds longer than comfortable. What I really meant? I need you to know that I think about sex, that I want sex, that I could want sex with you if you'd see me that way. This question was my way of shattering the good girl image without having to explicitly describe what the alternative might look like. I was inviting you to imagine me as someone who might surprise you behind closed doors. The word innocent in my mouth became a challenge, proof that I knew exactly what I was and what I wasn't. My throat burned for hours afterward because this question felt like the most honest thing I'd said to you, wrapped in the safest possible package. Signal number 7. You're different. This phrase was my confession that you'd already won something I didn't give away easily. When I told you that you were different, I was really telling you that you mattered in ways that scared me. Monday evening, after you'd listened to me talk about my father's death for 38 minutes without trying to fix anything, I say these words while looking at you like I'm seeing you for the first time. What I really meant? You've done something to my emotional defenses that no one else has managed to do, and I don't know whether to run toward you or away from you. This wasn't just a compliment. This was me admitting that you'd earned a place in my internal hierarchy that I reserved for people who could actually hurt me. Being different meant you had access to parts of me that others didn't even know existed. It meant I was considering letting you see the woman I was when no one was watching. I felt exposed for days after saying this, like I'd handed you a map to my vulnerabilities and labeled it "Handle with Care." Signal number 8. So what now? This question was my surrender, disguised as curiosity. When I asked this, I was really saying, I've run out of ways to signal what I want. The next move has to be yours. Saturday night, standing outside my apartment building after you'd walked me home, I asked this while fidgeting with my keys. knowing exactly what I hoped you'd answer. What I really meant, I'm ready for whatever comes next, but I need you to be the one who decides what that is. This question was my way of giving you complete permission, while maintaining the fiction that I wasn't actively participating in my own seduction. I was opening a door and hoping you'd be brave enough to walk through it. But I needed you to choose to walk through it, so I could tell myself later that you'd been the pursuer and I'd just been receptive. My entire body tensed for 43 minutes after asking this, every nerve ending alive with possibility and terror. Signal number 9. We are not having sex tonight. This was the cruelest lie I ever told. When I said this, I was really saying, please prove me wrong. Thursday night on your couch after 2 hours of conversation that felt more intimate than anything I'd ever experienced. I make this declaration while my body was already deciding exactly the opposite. What I really meant, I want you so badly that I need to say the opposite out loud. So when it happens anyway, I can pretend it was your idea. This phrase was my final protection against being seen as someone who planned for sex, someone who wanted it, someone who might even initiate it. By declaring what we wouldn't do, I was creating space for it to happen spontaneously. I was giving myself permission to be surprised by my own desires. The word "not" in that sentence was the biggest lie I'd ever told with my mouth, while my body was telling the exact opposite truth. I threw up twice that night, once from nervousness before saying it, once from shame after realizing how manipulative it was to need that level of protection from my own honesty. These 9 signals created my complete communication system for desire. These 9 signals reveal the secret language women use when we want someone but can't risk saying it directly. Every phrase was designed to express desire while protecting dignity, to signal availability while maintaining mystery. We don't speak in code to confuse you. We speak in code because the world taught us that wanting openly is dangerous for women. Here's what I learned about my own secret language. I wasn't being dishonest when I spoke indirectly. I was being careful with something precious, my desire, until I could trust that it would be received with respect rather than judgment. The 9 signals aren't about games. They're about survival in a world where women's desire is simultaneously demanded and shamed. Understanding this language isn't about becoming a better decoder. It's about becoming someone safe enough that we don't need to speak in code anymore. If someone is currently speaking to you in this hidden language, maybe they're not playing games with your feelings. Maybe they're protecting their feelings while trying to share them. And maybe the question isn't how to crack their code. Maybe the question is how to create enough safety that they don't need protection from their own honesty. How do you prove you can handle someone's direct desire? How do you show that their want is welcome rather than threatening? How do you love someone enough that they don't need armor around their attraction? These questions require patience and the understanding that emotional safety is built through small actions over time. If you want to understand more about why women need layers of protection around our desires, watch my video, She Said One Thing But Meant Another. That video explores how we learn to speak in protective layers when direct communication feels too vulnerable.